Thank you, Mr. Mashawi, for your precious time. I would like to thank you for the saga you have exposed with Irfan Hashmi to the people of Pakistan. And I think that's a very, very great service both of you have done. And we never know what broadsheet is and what is the other side of the story. And now we all know that what is the story have gone in previous 20 years, what NAB has done with us and General Pervez Musharraf and Sharifs and Bhuttos and lot of other people who have been looting this country. And now I come to the main point. Government of Pakistan has just announced an inquiry committee to probe what has been happening with NAB and Broadsheet saga. And they just appointed just retired Azmat Shahid Sheikh, a retired Supreme Court judge who has been a member of infamous Panama case bench. I would like to hear your comment on this news.
Well, I hope so. I hope at long last a government takes this seriously, because when we I give you an example. When we told them about $1 billion that had been transferred, they showed no interest at all. And I'm glad that the media have this kind of influence in Pakistan, that at least the new government appears to be making an effort, and I wish them all the best. And if they need any assistance from me, I should be more than happy to oblige them, more than happy. But I did notice, and I have noticed, I've experienced fighting corruption in many countries, Mr. Wade Wati. One of the telltale signs is that as soon as you begin to expose corruption, you become the target of insults and libel and defamation and accusation, this sort of thing. I can see that it started already in Pakistan against me, but let me through your camera say I don't get intimidated by this kind of thing. So they better try something else, because this is not going to work with me. My record is perfectly clear. My badge of honor, what they call about my imprisonment. When you fight for the cause of human rights, you take these risks. You take a chance that they'll put you in jail, they'll shoot at you, they'll kidnap you and all this sort of thing. So I'm not the kind of person that'll get intimidated. So whatever's don't try these things with me, because they don't work.
Okay. You have challenged Prime Minister Imran Khan in your previous one of your interview with Irfan Hashmi that if Imran Khan is serious in his claims, he must public the judgment of Sir Anthony Evans, and he did it. How do you see this move made by Prime Minister Imran Khan?
I think it's very positive. It's a very positive sign that I look for indications of seriousness, and I've seen indications it's a very refreshing experience to find a government that's actually taking these things seriously. Yes, I'd like to encourage him to continue along this road. Yeah.
A chunk of Pakistani journalists are accusing you as a spy. I would like to ask you on a lighter note, have you ever been in service with CIA, MI6, Mossad, RAW, KGB, or anyone else?
All of them, and 30, 40 more. Yeah, of course. I mean, ridiculous questions, and of course, get a ridiculous answer. Yes, all of them. I have 4 of them for breakfast every morning. Yeah.
Okay. One of the prominent journalists of Pakistan has just wrote an article and called Broadsheet as fraud sheet, and he claimed that Broadsheet had looted Pakistan more than $59 million. He claims that Mr. James, who was previously working with Broadsheet, has minted $1.5 million from government of Pakistan, and now government of Pakistan has paid more than $28 million to Broadsheet. I would like to ask you that who paid $1.5 million to Mr. James? Can you remember who was in government at that time in Pakistan? Can you tell our viewers?
It was in 2008. In the year 2007, because I'd begun the litigation against the government of Pakistan, I'd served them notice. They sent Amir Bilal Sufi, a Supreme Court advocate, to come and see me. And I made it quite clear that I could only settle one case, which is the International Asset Recovery case, which had been the company that had been designed and set up in order to go after Asif Zadari, the Bhutto clan et al. And I explained fully to him that Broadsheet was not in a position to settle because Broadsheet was in liquidation. I was trying to restore it back to the register. And while he was doing that, despite that warning to him, Mr. Amir Bilal Sufi went and saw Jerry James, who had nothing to do at that time, nothing whatsoever at that time, nothing whatsoever to do with Broadsheet at that time, none whatsoever. He went nonetheless and saw Mr. Jerry James and cut a deal with him. And after that, Mr. Sufi claims he's had nothing to do with this, and I can well believe it. He may well have been sidelined by the government, but the idea that Broadsheet stole 59 million is a joke. When you get a court order, that's not stealing. You know, people who want to steal, they run away from courts. They run away from the law. They run away from transparent proceedings in an English court. We did everything according to the law. We set up the company. I could have settled this thing when intermediaries were coming to see me, and I said, no, I will only do it through the court system. And I did. So if the court in London is a den of thieves, then, you know, then there's nothing. Then the earth is flat. That's all I can say.
Okay. In Pakistani press, there are a lot of articles mentioning that General Pervez Musharraf hired Broadsheet to victimize politicians, especially Sharif family. And now Mr. Kaveh Mousavi is doing the same. He is victimizing Sharif family and going behind them again and again and making fake accusations that they own $1 billion and they own $820 million assets in UK and across the globe. I would like to ask you that how can you be so sure that Sharif family has bought all of these assets with illicit money? Or is there anything true we can say that you are following Sharif, especially to victimize them on behalf of Pakistani establishment?
I think I've said a lot about Asif Zardari and the Bhutto clan as well, haven't I? My answer to that is one, we were going after both Zarif as well as the Zardari people. We had two companies. That narrative completely ignores 50% of the story, which was set up deliberately to go after the other politicians. Now, that narrative ignores the facts right from the beginning. The starting block, when General Musharraf wanted to go only after Sharif, we refused. We refused. We said, and the proof of it is that there were two companies. Then the one company was focused totally asking for Sharifs. The other one was totally focused on the Zardaris and the Bhuttos. That, I think, the evidence is pretty conclusive. If we were out to victimize Sharifs, etc., I think the Sharifs can defend themselves, frankly. They don't need me. I don't think they can be victimized. But the facts speak for themselves. Why did we set up two companies? Because one, it may well be that General Musharraf his intentions degenerated in going after his political opponents. It may well be that's the case, but our intentions were to fight corruption. Our intentions were to go after everyone. The proof of it is the fact that we set up two entities to go after both things. And then the judgment is quite clear. We began to fall out with the government of Pakistan when it became quite clear that their intentions were victimization and political financial assassination, you know, which we were not prepared to go along with it. We said we are going to go after every crook who's stolen money. That's the first part of your question. The second part is I'm not making these figures up. The Supreme Court of Pakistan talked about those figures, and the accounting firm that we hired made the representations to Sir Anthony Evans in the court in London quite clear. We relied very much on the information that was made available to the Supreme Court of Pakistan. These 800 and something million figures isn't my invention. It's there. The Joint Investigation Team, the Prosecutor General, Attorney General's Office, NAB, and the intelligence services in Pakistan who did this. But let the record be clear, we were prevented from investigating the Sharif family assets. We were sabotaged, and the judge agrees with us that we were prevented from doing that. So it's a bit rich 20 years later to come and say, did you find anything? Well, look at the judge's judgment. He says we were sabotaged, we were prevented from, but we certainly found enough for the court to say we're entitled to damages. If we hadn't found anything, we wouldn't be given any damages. I hope that's a comprehensive answer to that question.
Okay. I have just gone through the judgment, the three judgments. Currently, I am having all these three judgments by Sir Anthony Evans.
Yes.
I am surprised that there is not a single time Asif Zardari's name mentioned or Benazir Bhutto's mentioned.
Well, because
because
it's about Broadsheet. No, the trial before Sir Anthony Evans was about broadsheet. It was not about IAR. IAR was settled. Because it was settled, there was no question of Asif Zardari et al. Had there been a trial over the issue of IAR as well, those things would have been there. So your surprise is understandable, but it's misplaced. It's misconceived because the broadsheet was focused on the Sharifs and their coterie and their alter egos and the clans around them. That's why.
I just asked because there are a lot of people who are making their statements that this judgment exonerates Bhutto's from the whole saga of corruption which General Pervez Musharraf started. As Maryam Nawaz Sharif said that this judgment exonerates Sharif family, as the judge refused to accept the plea that they can hold even field apart. That's why I ask you about the Bhuttos and Asif Zardari, who's been infamous for being Mr. 10% or a lot of other corruption scandals, just like Augusta Submarine. And three characters are named in this report, like Jamil Ansari, Amir Lodi, and and Admiral Mansoor ul Haq. But there is no mention about Asif Ali Zardari, who was heading all the corruption matters.
Well, I've answered that question because the broadsheet was focused on the Sharifs. IAR was focused on Zardari Bhutto, and IAR didn't have a case in front of Sir Anthony Evans. So by definition, Sir Anthony Evans would receive no evidence about the Bhuttos and the Zardaris, and therefore there would be no name relating to the Bhutto clan. IAR was dealing with the Bhutto clan, and broadsheet was dealing with the Sharif clan, and that's why there's only the focus on the Sharifs here. Nothing to do with victimization or favorite. It's that case was settled.
So we can say that it does not exonerate Bhuttos as well if their name is not mentioned in this report.
Of course it doesn't. The Bhuttos are not mentioned in the horse racing reports either because they're not there. There's no talk about them. This is about the Sharifs. This is about the claim of broadsheet. And broadsheet had the list of the coterie and the alter egos and the front companies of the Sharif family. It had nothing to do with the Bhuttos. The Bhuttos and the Zardaris were International Asset Recovery, a different company that we had, which we insisted that there has to be an investigation of all the corrupt politicians, not just those about Sharifs, precisely because of the question you asked earlier, namely, was this about victimization of one family? And we said, we insisted it cannot be. They can do victimization if they want, but we will not be part of it.
Can you tell us something about those investigations you have carried about Bhuttos at that time under the ARA?
We did, and we gave a whole roll of information to NAB, which they ignored completely. I mean, we had photographs of movements, and we had we seized the big castle, the mansion they had, Rockwood Estate in Surrey. We seized it, and we were going to sell it, and they got rid of us. And they, to the lasting shame of NAB, it's back with the Zardari family. That the investigations we did very thoroughly. I mean, that was clearly taken with stolen money. But there you are. That's the nature of the government. And that's why we couldn't work with that government.
Okay. Now, Prime Minister has constituted a 5-member special committee to inquire whole this saga. And ex-Justice of Supreme Court is heading this committee. And it's very obvious now that they will contact you very soon to start investigation. And they are bound to compile their report in just 45 days. If they ask you to present yourself before that commission, would you like to come Pakistan, or would you assist them through these online means?
I will assist them online, yes. I think given that the campaign of slander and libel and calumny that started against me by the powerful people in Pakistan already, it probably not a safe bet. I think my life insurance policy would probably stop me from traveling to Pakistan.
Okay. The last question is, how is your experience of dealing with Pakistani journalists, especially in London? I have seen your latest some clips. You have been they have been grilling you about Sharifs, especially. They have been asking strange questions that how can you be so sure about the $1 billion account and all that? So I would like to ask you, what is your experience of dealing with Pakistani journalists?
Should we say there are straight journalists and there are journalists who are on the payroll of the crooks that have been ruling Pakistan for far too long. My concern is with the people and for the people of Pakistan. They were my masters. They continue to be my masters. I remain the servant of the people of Pakistan. The reason why I did this is to try and get back this wealth that had been raped out of them by a corrupt monarch over all these years. And that remains, my loyalty remains there. I'm used to journalists trying to intimidate me and all this sort of thing. I don't get intimidated. I've been shot at, I've been thrown to jail, I've been beaten up, they've attempted to kidnapping me. I got news for them. Kaveh Mousavi does not get intimidated. Not by these people.
Okay, Maryam Nawaz, daughter of Nawaz Sharif, has just claimed that government of Pakistan, now under the Prime Minister of Imran Khan, has just published a recent judgment of Sir Anthony Evans, but Imran Khan did not publish a report of 2016. But I have August 2016 report as well with me now, part final award liability issues, and July 2018, the quantum report. Is there anyone else report you can say that which is not being published right now?
No. There's the Merits Award, which is in the 2016 in the summer, which says the judge says we are right and the government of Pakistan is wrong. We are saying the truth, they're lying, and it says they conspired to defraud us. I mean, can you imagine? Please reflect on that. A High Court judge in London saying a government conspired to steal from a company it had hired to go and find stolen money. That's how bad that judgment is. It's pretty bad. And they appealed it. And the Court of Appeal just laughed at them. They said, you have no grounds for appealing. It's risible. And they just threw them out. And then the second is the hearing in July of 2018, with the judgment in December 2018, in which the judge says, yes, you owe them money and you owe them this much. Yeah, there's nothing else. IAR did not go to a court hearing because we settled it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mousavi, for your precious time and your kindness that you have showed to Pakistani people, and you have shown us the other side of the picture, and we all never know about what broadsheet is, what Mr. Kaveh Mousavi is, and how all that happened with us, and that Anaro story, and the corruption and the looted money. I would like to thank you again for all that service you have shown to Pakistani people.
It's my pleasure, and my battle against corruption is global. There are many governments who would like to see me dead very quickly, but they have not been lucky so far. I've been lucky, but if I go to meet my maker, I'll say, I hope you recognize I came for the right reasons, and I'm pretty sure he will say yes. So I continue to serve. My true masters in this instance are the 200+ million people and citizens of Pakistan. It is they who I serve. I don't serve any government. My masters are the people of Pakistan.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaveh Mousavi. Thank you.
My pleasure.